right, we are live. Game 3 preview between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. Here joined by Chris, as always. Going to talk about some stats, some things we want to see, some things we probably won't see. How's the vibes? How we feeling? Nervous? Confident? Chris, what's going on?
Not much, Ant. Excited to talk Knicks, obviously, but like you mentioned, what are the vibes, right? I don't know. With me, I'm kind of in between, man. I don't know if I should be feeling good or if I should be feeling a little bit down. Obviously, game 1 came away with a nice win, nice comeback win. Game 2, almost the same scenario, but the Knicks didn't pull through, unfortunately. So, with that said, how are you doing tonight, Ant?
Doing well, just bumping to that music. Yeah, I don't know how to feel, Chris. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how to feel. I appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. This Rover, Dino, Yuri, what's going on? I see you guys in the Discord chopping it up too. Yeah, I don't know how to feel, Chris. I don't. Look, if you pick the Knicks in 5, right? They had to lose a game, right?
That's right.
They had to lose a game. I mean, how did you expect them to get to the Knicks in 5 or Knicks in 6? That's you already equating 2 losses, right? As I spill my water all over the place. So that's you already equating 2 losses. So, yeah. That's how I feel currently.
Hey, I was the one that said, I said Knicks in 5. I just didn't think that first loss was going to come game 2. I thought Knicks would take care of home court. And look, after game 1, I was figuring, all right, look, we didn't play our best. No way we come back and give a worse effort. But that's exactly, at least to me, that's exactly what I saw game 2.
Yeah.
So, I feel kind of good that it's 1-1 right now, all considering the way that it's played out, because let's be real, Detroit brought it to the Knicks in both these games.
See,
but
how do you feel good?
Good because in both games the Knicks still had a chance. Obviously, Knicks won game 1, right?
Yeah.
Detroit just, let's be real, they just gave it up at the end. Game 2, it was kind of the same thing. Detroit played well throughout the whole game, and the Knicks had to make a furious comeback late. They did. Tied the game with a minute to go, just could not seal the deal, and had good looks at it. So I kind of feel good that at least we were right there. But on the flip side, you could say they could just as easily be down 0-2, right? So I get it. I get the disappointment when it comes to that part of it.
Look, series tied 1-1, and like Chris said, you've had 2 games in MSG, and I'm trying to clean up the water as I'm trying to talk to you guys, but you've had 2 games in MSG in your home court, and you've looked choppy in both of them. You've looked, I mean, quite frankly, the way you've closed out the season, choppy, not playing team basketball, the ball's not moving. We're just sitting here pointing fingers already after 2 games. ISO Brunson hero ball. We'll talk about that. Cat no field goal attempts in the 4th quarter. We'll talk about that. Embarrassing, truly. I mean, we have some audio from Melo. We have some audio from Thibs, from JB Bickerstaff. We got it all for you guys tonight. So strap in. But yeah, I mean, I don't like how I feel, Chris. I don't. And look, I still do think this Knicks team is going to win this series. Like I said, if you pick the Knicks in 5, they had to lose a game. I mean, if you pick the Knicks in 6, they had to lose 2 games. But it is the way they are looking, right? It seems like seems like Detroit is really playing physical with the New York Knicks, and it's bothering them. They're pointing the fingers at the referees. A lot of people didn't like that, although it was a terrible officiated game, game 2. I get that. Brunson seems like he just wants to do it himself, like all the time. and just wants to continue to do it himself. And we look, Brunson is a great player, and at times we need that, and at times we don't. And this Knicks offense is predicated to have Brunson run the show, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the struggle that we have come to the conclusion with, is that this coaching staff, Tom Thibodeau, he's the head honcho, he's the head coach, needs to figure out how to get the ball moving. How can this offense just be solely Brunson at times when you have legit 4 players in the starting lineup that could put the ball in the basket? Yep. Mikel, OG, Cat, and if you want to throw Hart in there at times, okay, cool. But then I think to myself, it's like they missed a bunch of open shots too. So it's like, it's a make or miss league. Yeah. I get it. It's a make or miss league. And then either way, you got to figure it out. Like Tom Thibodeau, I'm talking to you. You got to figure it out, man. You're on the seat. Seat is getting a little warm, Chris. You know how you put your heat warmers on in the car, you know? What level is it right now? Is it at 3? Is it at 2? Is it at 1?
I think it has to be like on a low setting right now. But then again, I mean,
so it's at a 1. Okay.
We've seen all the coaches lately getting let go, but I agree with you. I agree with everything you said, and I've been saying it, you know, even before Brunson was out of the lineup with his injury recently. Look, they got to get more creative offensively, and we saw it when Brunson went down, right? OG took it to another level. Mikel even looked way better than he was before, and it was obviously they were getting more looks, yes, but they were also more involved in the offense, right?
Yeah.
And then JB comes back, and obviously they got to figure it out. But look, playoffs is not really the time when you want to be figuring these things out. But I've said it many times. I don't like the ISO Brunson at the end of games is one thing. If you have a close game, obviously you want Jalen Brunson to have the ball. But what I'm seeing is, like you mentioned, JB obviously is trying to take control. Obviously, some of these guys, OG and Mikel, were not hitting shots, you know, missing shots when they got opportunities. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to stay in rhythm when you're not really touching the ball that much. So we saw a lot of ISO Brunson recently, which bothered me because, in my opinion, you're making it way too easy on Detroit. You know,
yeah,
you got Josh Hart who can't space the floor right now, and he's the main screener for JB most possessions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tricking the floor. And then you got Cat sitting in the corner doing absolutely nothing, which negates him even trying to get an offensive board or a board in general. It's a little bit maddening to me because I feel like you're playing into Detroit's hands by not, you know, getting others involved in actions, and that's the frustrating part with it all to me, man. That's why I didn't like that Game 2 loss.
El Figgy says, okay, Chad, we good after the dust settled. Series tied 1-1. Appreciate you guys in the chat. I see all of you. Appreciate the members in the chat as well. Lamar, what's going on? Appreciate you guys. Yeah, man, look. I don't know, man. I feel like this team is look, I'm still picking this team to win the series. I think, Chris, Game 3, I'm not panicking yet. I'm not. No way.
No, it just don't look good, right? That's it. But
now,
Knicks were in both these games.
Yeah, they were in both of these games, but they were super close. We're a 21-0 run away from being down 0-2. I mean, I know you can't really, go back to that, but just the Knicks, they're the better team. I mean, Ian Begley said they are, quote unquote, a 50-win team. 50-win teams don't lose at home like they did to the Pistons. I mean, you're supposed to take care of business, take care of business. And look, there's a part of me who thinks like this team has an ego problem in between their head coach. I think there's an ego problem with this team. I think there's like a stubbornness with this team. And obviously it starts with the coach, but they got to figure it out, right? They got to figure it out. So Knicks offense is predicated on JB. So here we have some numbers. So the field goal attempts in this series, Jalen Brunson has 54, Karl-Anthony Towns 25, Anunoby 28, Bridges 27, and Josh Hart 16. So Jalen Brunson has 54 field goal attempts. And look, game one was an awesome game. Obviously fueled by a campaign guy who didn't really see playing time in game two. When you needed a spark, Dibs didn't go back to him. And I know campaign really didn't help out that matter by having 3 personal fouls in like 2 minutes. And then we'll talk about the Brunson foul baiting, Chris. We'll speak on that a little bit. But, yeah, the bottom line, it is April 23rd, and Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks have not figured out how to get this team the best version of themselves, the best versions of what it could be. It is April 23rd, and we are still figuring that out, right? That's concerning to me. That's concerning to me, right? And
the strange part about it is you're talking about a team that came out of the gates as one of the top 3 offense in the league, and then for some reason it all switched after the All-Star break. All of a sudden, offense fell off, defense got better.
Yeah.
So we've seen it. We've seen the possibility. I mean, this Knicks team was outscoring. They were dropping 100 plus every night. So again, I go back to game 2, and it's like you're telling me a game that Detroit scored 100. If you bet me the Knicks would not score more than 100 points, the way they started the season off, I don't know, man. I just don't understand where it all went.
This team is talented, right? But I think it's the system, Chris. I think it's the system. And look, I don't foresee Brunson as being a ball hog. Like I said earlier, I just think the system runs through Jalen Brunson. And I feel like there's been a struggle within the coaching staff, Tom Thibodeau, the assistants, trying to get the system off of that. And look, Brunson is your best player. You're supposed to give him the basketball. But at times, he doesn't need to be our best player. At times, he needs to realize my 7-foot center has not touched the basketball, has not taken a shot attempt in the fourth quarter. Let me get him the basketball. Let me pass him the basketball, go to work. Like Melo said, and we'll play the audio in a bit, 1-5 pick and roll, go to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, well said. And we don't see that enough. I don't know why. We don't see Cat and JB running the pick and roll, giving Cat opportunities to pick and pop, things like that. Get your 2 all-stars in actions. Don't just let Cat be in the corner waiting for a pass that might not even ever come. That's something that's been frustrating to me, but we've seen that a lot for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. Look, when the news came down that Isaiah Stewart was not going to play game 2, I think I put it in the Discord chat as soon as I found that news, and I said, man, Cat better eat. And that's the most obvious thing, right? Who do the Pistons have to cover Cat at that point? Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren. Look, they did not get Cat the ball enough. That should have been a Cat game. And I think, look, as much as I hate to say it, and obviously y'all can all see I'm a JB supporter. As much as I hate to say it, that's on JB. And that's on Tibbs too. You got to get Cat the ball. And he barely touched the ball that game, it felt like.
Yeah, even in game 1, he didn't really get going into the fourth quarter. So it's a series. And we have some Tom Thibodeau comments that, I don't think a lot of Knicks fans will be too happy. I saw the response on X, and a lot of Knicks fans were like, really? You're still going to be stubborn? He said something along the lines of, if the Bridges had 2-3 great open looks in that fourth quarter, if one of them goes down, game's tied, we're not talking about the other stuff. Come on. We got to talk about the other stuff, Tom Thibodeau. But we'll play that audio in a bit. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. All the good stuff. I'm still confident, guys. I am still positive, and is still here. I'm still here. Game 3 is so pivotal, Chris. Game 3, okay. Talk to me after game 3, because that is a swing game, ladies and gentlemen. Knicks lose. They're down 2 games to 1, and Detroit has another home game. Knicks win. You're feeling good. 2-1. All right, we did our job. Got home court back. Let's go. Game 3 is a pivotal game. And look, OJ Anunoby said it today that the New York Knicks are confident. The vibes are still good in the locker room, and that is great stuff you would like to hear. Got to see the product on the court, right? Yeah. So a couple of things I noticed, Chris. Look, Mikal Bridges is 3 of 13 from 3 this series. No free throw attempts for Mikal Bridges. And Detroit, as they're ramping up the physicality, Mikal Bridges is kind of shying away from that physicality. But even though I thought he played a good first half in game 2, just missed open shots. I mean, he just missed open shots. I think the Knicks were like 1 of 10 from like 6 feet or more when the defender's guarding him. He just missed open shots. Like, sometimes that's the name of the game. You miss, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
But even Detroit, they were missing. So, rebounding, Chris. They got outclassed on the boards. Cat was getting out-rebounded. Dib said today that they got to fix it fast, and they will get it rectified. Cat said it has to change. So going into game 3, I just laid out Mikal free throw attempts, the physicality. What do you want a lineup change? You want even I shouldn't even ask that because that's not gonna happen. So
no, I don't want a lineup change. I think what got you here is what got you here, right? Don't change that. That doesn't have to change per se. I just think again, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record here. Mm-hmm. I think they got to get more creative on the offensive side. It cannot just be everybody going ISO, and you can't have Cat just at the 3-point line. You're gonna have to get guys in actions. Because look, if you want Cat to be, you want him to be in the paint. You want him to be in the paint against the Detroit team because nobody can hold him down there. Outside of Isaiah Stewart, who's been banged up, you just want Cat to be in the paint. And we saw early on, game 1 or game 2 even, he was killing Tobias.
Yeah, he was getting busy.
Yeah, and then they just completely went away from it. But I think one thing you got to do is stop with this ISO ball, because what ends up happening is everybody's just spread out. They play the 5 out, but then there's nobody there to board. There's nobody there for any type of offensive rebounding. And I just feel like that's one of the biggest battles for us. This Knicks team, look, I know it's not the same Knicks team in the past, but rebounding is important. You're not going to win playoff games when you're getting out-rebounded by a huge margin. And I think that's been one of the flaws as of late. Whether it's on the offensive boards or defensive boards, the Knicks are just not getting to those spots where they should be. And I think it's predicated a lot on the ISO ball that's being played.
Yeah. Zaire says playoffs are about matchups, not and adjustments. This row says people saying Knicks in 5, guys, don't forget we'd be 0-2 if not for a miraculous campaign run. Zaire says run the offense through Karl-Anthony Towns. So, Chris, I put up this stat, and I know a lot of you are like, oh, that's random. But I put up this stat because I was kind of like doing some digging, and I'm like, I want to see the offense kind of run through Cat more. Sort of like the Knicks used that Isaiah Hartenstein role where he was at the top of the key just reading and reacting and, throwing passes. And Cat has shown us this year that he is a great passer. And we really just haven't seen it consistently. Knicks are 9-0 this season when Karl-Anthony Towns has more than 5 assists in a basketball game. And I think with Jalen Brunson, they are – let me get this really quick. But, yeah, I mean – as I get that, Chris, Knicks have 6-1 right here. 6-1 when Jalen Brunson has 10 or more assists in a game. And so, 9-0 when Cat has more than 5 assists. 6-1 when Jalen Brunson has 10 more assists. I mean, it's like simple basketball, Chris, and I know it's not. Yeah. It's more to that, but it's the adjustments that we would like to see heading into Game 3 because they're trying to wear Jalen Brunson out, and they're trying to get in his head. They're trying to. I mean, you hear the chirping from Arthur Thompson. You hear the chirping from Bickerstaff. And Brunson is – I feel like Brunson is kind of feeding into that too much, right?
it's funny you say that because late in game two, when JB got that last foul call on Sir Thompson, and he reacts the way he did, which caught me by surprise because usually you don't see JB make any type of reaction. You know, he's all business, right? Usually
Unless you
just
piss him
even
off.
keel.
But yeah.
Yeah, unless you piss him off, but even that, it'll be a yell or something. But holding up the six fingers, I felt like that was the first time ever where I was like, man, I think they got in his head. The whole situation, obviously, with the refs, where it seemed like we could not get a foul call until late in that game, obviously in the fourth quarter. You know, obviously the physicality from the Pistons and everything that they were just getting away with. In
Yeah.
general, I felt like, man, that with that reaction JB gave, I was like, he's not completely there. You know, he's not
Yeah.
completely focused on the main goal. Like he's trying to, I don't know, I don't know what he was, but that was something to me. That was telling. That was telling for sure. And yeah, that surprised me. Did that surprise you? That type of reaction he gave?
Look, JB didn't have a good reaction when it came to game two. I mean, you had people talking about that. Let me just bring up this tweet from Nate Duncan. Bring up the tweet for you guys. He said, Brunson has become my least favorite watch in the league. Nate Duncan's a guy on X that a lot of NBA folks follow because he knows his stuff. So it's a shame because with his skill level, he should be one of my favorites. But the referee baiting is never ending. He does something on seemingly every possession on both ends. It's a level beyond even peak James Harden. All right, I think that's a little bit dramatic, but I don't like the foul baiting, Chris. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't like the foul baiting. Jalen Brunson does a lot of foul baiting. Let's just be real. But he's a 6-foot guard who really doesn't get the benefit of the whistle like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or like a bigger guard. And I don't like the foul baiting, Chris. I don't. But it works for JB, right? Like if that was me watching Trae Young, I would be disgusted. But Brunson does it in a different way that as a Knicks fan, I'm like, okay, I get that he's doing that. But I think in game two, it was just a little bit too much for my liking. And I know you want to get these guys in foul trouble, but at the same time, you have to focus. And you're the point guard, man. The ball's in your hands 90% of the time when you're dribbling up the court. You have to set the tone. And I think in game two, a little bit too much foul baiting on my part, Chris. I'm just being honest. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know?
Look. I'll be honest too. It was too much. It was too much. I felt like it got them out of their offensive rhythm. You know, but I also think that JB was obviously doing it on purpose, obviously trying to use their physicality against themselves. You know, thinking that the refs are going to call certain things. The only problem is the refs weren't calling anything until late in the fourth quarter. So what ended up happening was a lot of turnovers, a lot of just empty possessions, a lot of one and dones for the Knicks, which, look, you can't have that. Obviously, look, JB, he's call it foul baiting or whatever. He's obviously using guys' momentum against them. You know, he's using everything he can because, like you said, he's an undersized guard, right? I get it. Look, like you mentioned, Trae Young is the perfect example. Does the same thing and it drives us insane, right? Whenever we play the Hawks, it's the same thing. But look, I think part of me says that's a skill too. You know, it's something he has obviously worked on and it's become a big part of his game. But at the same time, too, you know, I think it cost him in game two, where he did it way too much. And instead of getting the team under control, running the offense, get things running quicker, which is another thing I have an issue with, is the slow pace that the Knicks are getting into their offensive sets.
Yeah.
You know, it definitely cost them. So I would like to see him tone that down a little bit.
Super chat from Yuri. Appreciate the super chat, Yuri. Thank you for the support as always. So we really gotta ignore that Jalen was getting whacked all bloody night. The man had swelling and black and blues all over his body. Appreciate the super chat, Yuri. Thank you for the support. Always appreciate you rocking with us.
Yeah.
What do you got to say to that, Chris?
Definitely not ignoring, because I just said it. He was doing it on purpose. He was trying to draw fouls on purpose, because there's no secret.
He was getting fouled.
He absolutely,
We're not denying that, guys. We're not.
He was everybody was getting pulled and pushed, and for whatever reason, the whistle just would not come the Knicks' way until what? Maybe 3 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Second half, that's when the New York Knicks were getting to the free throw line. I think at the end of the first half, they were like 14-1 free throw disparity.
Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy. But that was my point. JB was trying to use that against Detroit. Obviously, they were fouling. Look, they were fouling, but we didn't get the whistles. So it made everything look just that much worse when we weren't getting the calls.
Yeah, Isaiah says he's too good to become a full-fledged foul baiter, man. He does it in a smart way, but I got to agree with you, and it was a bit excessive in that game. What's going on, Isaiah? Lamar says, yeah, we got to stop looking for fouls and just hoop, man.
Yeah.
Yet we say this, right? And the Knicks were Mikal Bridges shot away from tying the game. And came out in the last 2-minute report, Chris, that Josh Hart was fouled on his dunk.
I don't like these last 2-minute reports.
So he makes the dunk. Essentially, if they call the foul, that's big. Goes to the free throw line. Let's say he makes the free throw. Knicks up 1. Right?
That could be the difference, right? You don't know. You don't know.
It didn't happen, right? I mean, if like I go to baseball, if Aaron Boone didn't put in the pitcher during the World Series in Game 1, I mean, then the Yankees, maybe that would have been a different series. But yeah, let's get to some of these the audio, Chris. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get to the audio. This is from Mr. Tom Thibodeau. I know a lot of you guys want to listen to Tom Thibodeau, right? Because you got to know what he wants, what he has to say. All right, There's what you got.
Do you guys need to send to it any more often? Is there something you can do with it?
Well, I think when you look at it in totality, the game is, 97-94, and Mikal has an open 3 with 11 seconds to go. So, and he shot it great. It just didn't go in. It was a great play by Jalen to Mikal. Mikal did a great job moving without the ball. So, if that shot goes in, we're probably not talking about all the other stuff, but that's playoff basketball. And then what do you learn from the game? And then how do you reset and get ready for the next one? And I think that all that stuff is important. So each game, take, what happened in the previous game, study, and get ready for the next one.
If that shot goes in, we're probably not talking about the other stuff. He shot it great. It just didn't go in. It was a great play by Jalen. Mikal did a great job moving without the basketball. That tells me, Chris, that I don't foresee any adjustments coming, and he's just looking at it like, he missed a shot. If he makes it, we maybe win. If he misses it, we lose. So I don't care about the other stuff. Come on, man.
Nah. I think obviously they got to know that it didn't look good. They got to know they didn't play their brand of basketball, right? I mean, I'm not expecting Tibbs to go up there and be like, yeah, Mikal should have hit that. He's ass, whatever. He's obviously not going to go up there and say things like that. But, I think behind closed doors, they got to be real with themselves and just, look, this team should not be playing the way that they're playing. Because the thing that worries me is it's almost like they're waiting till the last 6 minutes in the fourth quarter to all of a sudden lock in, play better defense, give better effort, and frustratingly give more effort. Because if they play from beginning to end, the way that they've been playing, these first two games in the fourth quarter late, I feel like Detroit wouldn't be able to hang.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the frustrating part about it.
Oh, man, I see all the comments. But I love this response from Lockdown Knicks. The process was bad, but if we won, nobody would be talking about it, so it wouldn't matter. And then he says, pretty good summary of why Thibs is the coach to get you over the top. But I don't even want to go down that route. But, yeah, I didn't like that response from Tom Thibodeau. Here's another response from Tom Thibodeau regarding the Karl-Anthony Towns-Mitchell Robinson pairing. What do you got to say, Thibs?
Carl and Mitch on the floor together. What have you seen from that grouping?
Yeah, and there's been some good. Obviously, there's some that we could do better. The rebounding part of it has been good. But also, you got to look at the matchups. Who do they have on the floor? And then,
Wow.
too. And so, there's times it's been really good.
So, Knicks has struggled. Chris, remind me. Game 2. Knicks, they struggle with rebounding in basketball, right?
Yeah.
So, the quote from Tom Thibodeau says, the rebounding part of it has been good. But you also got to look at the matchups. Who do they have on the floor and what are you vulnerable to? How about you make them match you sometimes, right? How about he looks at that too much? Like, I don't want to have two big men on the floor because I want to see who they have on the floor to match up against them. How about you make them adjust to you, Mr. Thibodeau?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so yeah, I mean, look, he's smarter than me. Look, I'm just a guy with a mic, man. I'm probably gonna get that printed on a shirt. I'm just a guy with a mic, but I'm just, I would like to, see the Cat and Mitch line up more. The only reason why we saw it in game 1, Chris, was because Josh Hart was in foul trouble, and then I was wondering why we didn't see it in game 2. We saw it a little bit. I think it was like 2-3 minutes, and then we saw it a little late in the game. But yeah, I mean, he could just be saying this to say it. And in game 3, they come out with different adjustments. Brunson guarding Cade, and they throw the Pistons off, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not foreseeing that, but I'm just." Yeah. So regarding this, Chris, what do you have to say?
I mean, I hope it's gamingship, right? Like, you hope that something like that, and Tibbs is just not trying to show his cards, right? But I think you got to play Mitch a little bit more, in my opinion, with Towns. I go back to the rebounding. The Detroit has been killing us on the boards, and I think what better way than have Mitch out there? I know they're trying to keep him around 20 minutes or so, obviously, but look, it's the playoffs. Get him out there. He seems to be fine, so far. Let him go do what he does best.
Yeah.
Alter shots, grabbing rebounds, and offensive boards. And maybe that can unlock Cat, because then Cat doesn't have to really worry about, being in the paint so much or whatever. But, Detroit, like you mentioned, game 2, Detroit didn't shoot the ball well either. But they attacked the paint almost at will every single time, because they were screening OG Anunoby left and right to get Cade open, and then playing off that action over and over and over. And it just ended up either on a floater in the paint or something like that. And unfortunately, Towns isn't a paint protector, right? But if you throw Mitch in there, he has more of a chance, in my opinion, to alter a shot, block a shot. That'd be something I'd like to see. More Mitch. Will we see it? I don't know. I mean, I was one that was saying we might see Precious out there. We haven't seen Precious at all.
Yeah, look, I want to see how Game 3 looks like. This can go many different ways. Look, if you start, I don't think it's happening this year, guys. I don't think you're seeing the Mitch and Karl-Anthony Towns starting lineup. Whether that's egos involved, whether Thibs is stubborn, or Josh Hart has an ego. Like, maybe that's like kind of the riffraff in the locker room that we're not talking about. But I don't think you're seeing that this year, unless something drastic happens, guys. Unless we go down like 3-1 to the Pistons, and we're like, all right, whatever, just throw it out there. Wanted to get to a comment. It says from Size 9. He says the problem is y'all got this imaginary vision of who we really are. Could be true, Size 9. Look, we were 1-3 against the Pistons this year, right? 50-win team. 51-win team. But did they really look like a 51-win team? No. So
Roller coaster.
they're talented. They have the starting five. The coaching staff gave Tom Thibodeau a starting five to work with. And in a year where you thought you were going to take a leap, you haven't taken a leap. You haven't taken a leap. Now look, it's 1-1. Obviously, we'll have time this summer to react to everything. Not overreact, but Game 3 is pivotal, guys. After Game 3, you might get a different mood from me. I might come up, Chris. If they lose Game 3, I'm not predicting that, but if they lose Game 3, then it's time to really, it's time to really question things around here, right? Series not over, but
no, hell no. Series is definitely not over, and I'm still holding. As bleak as it looks for my prediction of Knicks in 5, I'm still going with Knicks in 5. You know,
so you got them winning 3 straight games.
I got them winning 3 straight games. I mean, look, we've been in each one of these games. Obviously, hasn't looked good, but I got. There's no way we don't come out with more energy in Game 3. There's no way we don't come back with more effort. You know, I mean, if you go out to Detroit, which you know that place is going to be rocking, not like MSG, but look, they haven't had playoffs there in how long? A while. You know, I if they come out with no energy, it's going to be a long night for us, man.
Yeah, you lost at home when you're supposed to be taking care of business, right? Cavs just went up 2-0, right? Just beat Miami. Boston just went up 2-0 on Orlando, and they're without Tatum. Come on, man. Let's get it together, man. Please. This is Karl Anthony Towns regarding, I think he was talking about the rebounding. Oh, no, this is about his fourth quarter.
How do you kind of deal with that challenge of taking what's there but not trying to do too much?
Just be aggressive, and when I get the chance, to make a play. So I've been double team, triple team most of my career. So I feel like I could do a pretty good job when I'm pretty comfortable with that situation happening.
Get this man the basketball, Chris.
Yeah.
Right?
That's him politely saying, it don't matter who's on me, I can make an impact if I get the ball.
And this is Cat. I'm going to play a little clip of this because I don't want to get in trouble. But this is Carmelo Anthony breaking down Cat's performance in Game 2.
Get a shot attempt.
How does that happen? Like,
that's, to me,
is that more on Cat or is that more on
it's a
strategy?
It's a part on him too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to demand that shit. Like, you got to demand the ball. You got to demand.
Yo, I love Melo, by the way. This is blunt.
Yeah.
Give me the ball. Get out of my way. Melo. And that's kind of what you're seeing from Brunson. Like, if he wants to go, he's got to go. The problem is you got 2-3 of them guys in the starting lineup that could do that. And we saw with OG when Brunson was out. Demand that ish.
Yeah. That was a big issue that's where I blamed Cat.
Demand the ball.
Yeah.
That's where I blamed Cat. And even in the Discord, I was saying it. You know, it was the post game, and I was there saying Cat needs to demand the ball. He needs to go. He needs to yell, whatever it is. He needs to just make it be known. Give me the ball. No Isaiah Stewart, Tobias Harris. Come on, let him work. Let him work. And I know a couple times they try to get him the ball in the post. For whatever reason, they just couldn't get the pass to him. But they got to do better. They got to find better ways to get Cat the ball.
A few more thoughts from Melo.
You got to demand.
All right, this is not.
JB, go. Come on, let's get into 1-4-5, 1-5 pick and roll. You got to have the IQ to see that and allow the coach got to be confident in that too. Like, Cat got to be a lot more demanding of situations and demanding the ball. Whether it's
the coach has to be confident in that too. Words from Carmelo Anthony.
Man.
So what does that say?
Yeah. He's right.
Jump hook, 3 straight times. Shot, cat got a jump hook, cat got the fade base, and it's like they still have this little guy on you. They switching off and they got Tobias Harris on you. No knock to Tobias Harris, but he's a smart player. He's a veteran. He's a smarter player. You get what I'm saying? He's a smart player. Knows how to utilize what he can do best. Get him off of you. Go somebody's on Jalen. Mm-hmm. Go 1-5 pick and roll. End of the game, we going 1-5 pick and roll, bro. There's no
running sets at that time.
No, I'm not going through OG. I'm not playing through Mikal. No knock to those guys.
1-5 pick and roll. Screw Mikal, screw OG. Just me and you. Just me and you, Jalen. Run it.
But you know what? We don't see that enough. And I find that to be crazy. That's like the Nuggets. That's like Jamal Murray and Jokic, right? That's like them never running pick and roll together. Like, you have Karl-Anthony Towns, who's an all-star. You got Jalen Brunson, who's an all-star. And you're keeping them in two separate sides of the court. That's something I never agreed with. Why don't we see them run pick and roll? And not only that, off that action, you got OG and you got Mikal who can be in the corners. You got possibilities there. Like, that should be a no-brainer. But instead, we get Cat, in a corner, and JB running pick and roll with Josh Hart, who you can't really even pick and pop with.
I hope they figure it out. I do. I hope they do. I do. Game 3 is pivotal, guys. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat talking about Knicks, Pistons, Game 3, going over a little bit of Game 2. A lot of stuff has come out in these last couple of days. Knicks play Thursday night against the NFL draft. So, we'll get to the JB Bickerstaff comments in a second. But Melo, pretty much I see a lot of Melo comments in here. Wayne says Melo will be a good coach. He's got a high basketball IQ. Then Lamar says Melo spitting facts, though. Cat has to have the ball.
Yeah.
Then Loud and Clear says, this is where we miss Dante. Dante demanded the ball. Cat nor Mikal do. Say Quizzy says, Game 3, we're going to see what this team is about. Because Game 2 was our worst game, and we still was in it. So if we don't see the Knicks on their A game tomorrow, we might be in trouble. Yep. Game 3 is when we see this, what this Knicks team is about, Chris.
Yeah. They got to show up. They got to show up, man. But look, again, I feel good that we were in that Game 2 as bad as we looked. But let's be real, too. Detroit didn't shoot the ball well. And, similar to Campaign, if you want to say Campaign is the only reason we won Game 1, which, look, he was a huge reason. In the same way Game 2 broke for the Pistons, right? Schroeder doesn't make that 3. Do they win that game? So, look, it's like the same thing basically played out for both teams in this series. And Game 3 is going to be huge. Look, again, the Knicks need to come out there with high energy and high effort, because I'm not going to say it's a must win, because I do believe you just got to get one of these at Detroit at a minimum. But the way it's looked, it kind of feels like it's a must win, right? But it's not quite there yet. It's not quite there yet, but it's crucial. It's going to be a crucial Game 3.
It is. We're saying all the right things, guys. But when is the last time we've seen this Knicks team dominate? Just dominate. Starting 5 in there, Brunson in there. Things rolling defensively, offensively. Feels like it's been a minute, right?
It's been a minute since we had like a 20-point win, right?
That's what I was looking for in Game 2. And I'm looking at their schedule. And I'm trying to figure out when's the last time we've seen this Knicks team dominate late in the schedule. Phoenix. Did they dominate? That was without Atlanta. I don't know, man. They just got to get it together, though.
Yeah.
They just got to get it together, man.
Yeah, they gotta. Unfortunately, they gotta figure it out. Again, it's not something you want to be doing round one of the playoffs, but that's the scenario we're in. Unfortunately.
El Figgy says no, it's a must win. Chris, what's going on, Chris? Appreciate you guys in here. Smash the like button, please. Really helps us out. Lamar says game 3 is definitely a must win considering how we've been playing. Size 9 says yeah, since Cat hurt his shooting hand. Might be just that, right? Might be just that. Miguel says Thibs gets exposed against elite teams and coaches. Look, we'll see after game 3. Game 3, it's all hands on deck, man. I need to see an aggressive Mikal Bridges, Chris. I need to see this ball moving. I need to see JB locked in, efficient, not forcing it. I need to see Anunoby be his bully self. I went down the field goal attempts. Brunson has double the field goal attempts as Towns. 54, 25. Towns has. Anunoby 28, Bridges 27, Hart 16. Look, JB's our rock, man. But at times, got to start stop the hero ball. But I say that, Chris, and I think this offense, like I said prior, is predicated on JB. Late in games especially. But did make a good pass to Mikal. He just missed it. So it's like as I'm talking through this, Chris, it's like I see the JB driving to the hoop, Mikal Bridges. Do you think that's by design? Mikal Bridges is a poor above the break 3-point shooter, and it seems like he's always open above the break in shooting threes. So maybe that's in Detroit's game plan that, okay, shoot it, Mikal. We know you're a poor above the break 3-point shooter, and he's just short on these shots. So
I don't want to give Detroit that much credit, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I just think that's the way it played out in that scenario. But
I sounded like Dibs there, by the way.
One thing I do want to point out, though, is you channeled your inner Tibbs right there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
One thing I do want to point out, though, is like last year when Brunson was seeing those double teams, right? He was getting doubled as soon as he crossed the half court line. I almost felt like that was better in a sense, because Detroit is playing him pretty much straight up, right? When he crosses there's nobody's running over to double him the way we've been accustomed to in the past.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like back last year it was better. JB got the ball out of his hands quicker, and they were kind of forced to play a little bit faster, right?
Yeah.
Now what you're seeing is JB's trying to read and react because obviously a lot of the offense is predicated on that. That's what you always hear Tips say, right? Read what they're giving you and, react accordingly. But it's taking us, 10, 14 seconds into the shot clock before we even get into our set almost, it feels like. And Josh Hart did mention this, I believe, post-game where he said, we got to play faster. Do you think that's another reason why this Knicks team just looks sluggish on offense? It's just too much, almost like they're overthinking things instead of just going.
Campaign plays fast. Game 1, he played fast. And that's why, he was a spark in that game, right? So I just think at times Thibs needs to trust his subs. I didn't understand his substitution patterns in the second game. Less Mitch and Cat. No Campaign because you kind of gave him a spanking because he got 3 fouls in less than like 2 minutes. But Josh Hart in game 1 got in 3 fouls in like 6 minutes, and you just still were going back to him. So I think it's a whole bunch of things, Chris. But look, the car seat warmers are on. Level 1, level 2, level 3. I'm just saying. Look, game 3 is important, man. It's a whole plethora of things that is going on with this team. And heading into the season, this is what this team looked like, man. It's baffling. It's baffling. Now Brunson has a lot of help, and I know we don't really have a bench, but this offense should not be looking like this. Bottom line. This offense should not be looking like the way it's looking. And you could blame Brunson. You could blame Tibbs. It shouldn't be looking like this, and set up a pie chart, 50-50 Brunson, 50-50 coaching. And I don't even want to give Brunson that big of a slice. Maybe I would throw some players in there as well. I mean, it's you got to figure it out, man. But this late in the season, you think that all of a sudden you're just going to hit a magic switch, hit the switch?
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, it's not something that you really want to be trying to figure out in the playoffs. But look, I do have faith that JB is gonna figure it out. I think he obviously they're gonna review the tape. Obviously, he's probably seen it already, and I think he's gonna make adjustments. If there's one thing I know is he has to know he can't do it all by himself. He has to know that.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he was out with the ankle injury, obviously with the foot injury, and he got to see this team and he got to see what these guys can do while he was not on the court, right? I mean, you got to take a look at that and take a look at game 2. And I have a good feeling that he's going to figure that out. Whether that's getting Cat more involved or making it a point to get him the ball more or just, limiting the ISO ball, picking and choosing his spots. I think he's going to figure it out. I mean, he has to figure it out. Or else we're going to be in trouble.
That's it, man. You got to figure it out. And I think they will. But, yeah, look. Year 1 talk, I mean, I understand it, but Boston did the same exact thing kind of last year. They traded for Porzingis. They traded for, I think, before the 2023-2024 season, in the season when they won the championship. They traded for Drew Holiday right before training camp, Porzingis that summer, and they figured it out and won a championship. And I'm not comparing the two teams, but look, Game 3 is pivotal. Pivotal game for Game 3. It's a swing game, in my opinion. You win, great. You're 2-1. You did your job. Let's go up 3-1 in Game 4. Hopefully this Knicks team found something offensively. Hopefully they can get it together. But they have to match the physicality of the Detroit Pistons, right? And here we have JB Bickerstaff talking about just that. Let me get this going for you guys. Appreciate you guys in here once again. JB, coach of the Pistons.
We're happy with the way the games are being called. We can survive physicality, so we've got no issue with it. When you look at the comparison between the guys who are handling the ball the majority of the time, their guy is lead right now in playoff free throw attempts. Cade is 9th at this point. So I think the fouls are being called, how they're being called. But again, I love the whistle. Let the referees keep calling the game the way they've been calling it. And it gives us an opportunity to defend, and our guys can play through it.
Okay, he said their guy is leading the league. He didn't even mention Jalen Brunson by name, by the way. Their guy.
He's scared to say his name.
I just noticed that. It's kind of disrespectful, right?
Yes.
Their guy? No, you mean JB. Their guy is leading the league right now in playoff free throw attempts. That's a lie. Giannis Antetokounmpo is currently leading the playoffs in free throw attempts. 25 for Giannis, 21 for Jalen Brunson. Cade has 17. Luka has 20. So that's a lie, JB. But in that quote, he says, we can survive physicality, so we've got no issue with that. So he's essentially saying the New York Knicks are crying about the officials because they cannot survive being physical. They cannot survive our physicality. So the resort they have to go to is Tom Thibodeau crying to the media about the free throw disparity. I shouldn't say crying, like Tom Thibodeau upset at the officials about the free throw disparity. So that's a shot right there from JB.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously, yeah, of course he's gonna say he likes the whistle and he likes what the refs are doing because everything, they've been getting a lot of. We just haven't been getting the calls, right? Look, it was apparent first half of game 2, 14 free throws for the Pistons, and the one that JB got damn near at the end of the second quarter. You're gonna tell me Detroit played perfect defense for an entire half? The Detroit Pistons? Look, I get that they're a better team. Great, they made the playoffs, fantastic, but they played perfect defense for an entire half? I don't think so. So of course he's gonna say he loves the whistle and he loves what the refs are doing. You know, I'd say that too if I was coaching a team and and free throws were getting called for my team and not for the other. Like, come on, man. That's
get that guy off my screen, man.
Yeah.
Get that guy off my screen. Robert says he is right. The Knicks don't play that way. Look, right now the Knicks, yeah, I mean, they're struggling with the physicality. They got to bring it up intensity-wise, and we'll see if Thibodeau makes some adjustments, if he puts anyone else out there. Landry Shamet has been, would you say, a disappointment? I mean, he came in the last game, I think, at the end of – by the way, something that's going over the radar, Chris, in game 2, Thibodeau went with an all lineup without Brunson and without a Karl-Anthony Towns. I think it was Shamet, Payne, Deuce. Who was it? Mitch. Somebody else was out there. Maybe Hart. But it was without Brunson and without Cat. And I think it was at the end of the first quarter or heading in the second quarter. I'm like, what is this lineup?
It was weird. There was like, and nothing was happening either. It just looked really
Shamet
bad.
throwing the ball out of bounds. And I'm like, oh, man.
It sucks because I thought Shamet was going to be the way he ended, the regular season, you figured Shamet was going to be a nice piece off the bench. He was starting to hit his shots at a good clip, starting to drive and make things happen. But he really hasn't got the minutes either. Again, Tibbs kind of has, he's sending guys out there for 2, 3, 4 minutes. And if he doesn't like what he sees, you're not coming back out.
Nope. El Figgy says terrible player rotation. That's from Tom Thibodeau. Yep. Then Loud and Clear says, wasn't this dude slamming the table with his fist one game at a press conference this year, cursing out the officials for being so bad? Yep. It's funny how you're on the other side now and you're like, hey, I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
It's great.
It's great, guys. Yeah, man. It's great. I love it. 14, a 1 free throw, 2 free throw attempts at the end of the first half. It's great.
Oh, man.
It's good. We all good. Respond, man. Respond. Knicks got to respond, man. Just got to. A lot of noise right now from the Pistons after game 1. Even, I mean, it's just usually the Knicks show us what wins, right? You got to respond.
Yeah.
Nostalgia said that was a dumb lineup. Dorkosaurus, what's going on, Dorkosaurus? Says Landry Shamet can't hang with them boys, bro. Yeah.
I think he can. I mean, didn't he showed a little bit in the last game. Obviously, regular season is regular season. But Look, overall, I think everybody on the Knicks just has to play better. They have to bring better energy. They have to be focused. They have to be locked in, man. Because game 3 is going to be huge.
I'll be watching for the adjustments. Nelly now says, who steps off the bench? El Figgy says, Tibbs has a short leash for our bench. Everyone except Deuce. Yeah. First half, you see the bench. Second half, you're not seeing Shamet. You're not seeing Payne. That's about game 2. First game, you saw Payne. But second half, Tibbs gets tight, man. And look, I said it before, Chris. If Shamet, if he's going to come in here, then Deuce, I see Deuce comments in the chat too. Deuce has been terrible all series. If it wasn't for that banker, that 3 that he banked in, he did hit a 3, another one in the second half. But yeah, I mean, these guys got to step up, man. We could talk about Brunson. We could talk about not getting the ball to Cat, but you're not really getting anything from Shamet. Nothing from Shamet. Deuce has been Mitch, I thought, has been great with the rebounding. He's built for it. OG's been following Cade around, they're running him through pick after pick, especially game 2. And he said it after game 2. He's like, they're setting illegal screens, but we have to adjust because they're hitting me every time down the court. They're hitting me. And look, he was gassed.
Yeah. I mean, look, you could see it. They were grabbing his jersey, 2 hands grabbing his jersey, pulling OG, pushing OG. It was maddening not to see him get any calls. But on the flip side of that, didn't you kind of feel like OG was out there kind of like on an island? Like nobody was stepping up to Cade at all once OG got screened. It was like it was just OG. Like they just expected OG to I get OG is a phenomenal defender, but like it kind of bothered me that OG would get taken out of a play, pushed damn near, to half court, and the expectation was that OG's just gonna snap back and get to Cade on time. And a lot of times, don't get me wrong, he did, but where's the help?
Yeah.
They would just let Cade roam free and hit a wide open mid-ranger or a free throw, a push shot or something like that. You're going to tell me somebody's not supposed to be there and help? That was a frustrating thing that we saw over and over again, game 2.
Yeah, you gotta get him some. I know he's gonna try to defend Cade. You're gonna see Mikal on Cade a few times, like we saw in game 1, to kind of like give OG a breather, because we need OG on the offensive end too. Like Jose says in the chat, what's going on, Jose? Can we get OG in the mix early and get back to the pick and pop or roll with Cat and Brunson? Hopefully 2 days off can help with the Knicks coming out with energy and intensity for a critical game 3.
Great comment right there. Yeah,
I'm trying to get hype, yeah. I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. I don't know, man. Game 3 is important, man. I'm nervous about tomorrow, Chris. I'm nervous. I'm gonna be frank with you. I'm nervous.
It's you can't help but to be a little bit nervous, right? I mean, you don't know which Knicks squad is gonna show up. That's the thing about it. It's that roller coaster that we've been riding all season long, right?
Mm-hmm.
Highest of highs, and then what you think is the lowest of lows, right? So we gotta see what we get. But look, I have faith these guys, they're gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We keep hearing it, right? There's so much talent on this team. There's no way they don't figure it out. But you know what? If they don't start figuring it out sooner than later, they're gonna be on their way to Cancun.
Oh, don't.
I'm just saying that's they have to figure it out. That's what I'm saying.
Also, why does it have to be Cancun? Why can't it be like I don't know, Turks?
It's always Cancun.
Don't say that yet, Chris. Don't say that, man. But X Factor for game 3. Stamp it, Chris. Who you got? Chime in too, chat. X Factor for game 3. Everyone type in your X Factor for game 3, chat.
I almost can't say X.
Who is going to come out and win us the game?
I'm going to say Cat. But I don't want to call him. I mean, it's hard for me to call an all-star an X Factor, but I say it's Cat. I think he's pissed. Game 2, he didn't get the ball. He didn't get a chance to make the impact. Obviously, we don't know if Isaiah Stewart's going to be out there. But to be honest, even with Stewart, I think Cat can make a huge impact for this team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we're going to see some Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns play out there, some pick and pop, something fresh, something different that we haven't shown the Pistons yet. But I think it's going to be Cat. I think he's going to be on a mission.
Cat on a mission. I see you guys typing the X Factors. Nostalgic Cat. Robert says the bench. Yuri Mikal. Dorkasaurus says Cat, and if Thibs. Oh man, Mikal. Comeback game. Tendril Shamit. I didn't want to read the rest of that comment. It was funny.
Mikal's a good one too, though. I mean, I'm sure that last shot, him missing those big shots, man, I'm sure that's eating away at him, and I'm sure he's gonna come and bring it as well. Mikal's a good one.
People saying Shamit. Woody says PJ for 10 minutes to break their bones. I wouldn't mind it, man. PJ, let's go. PJ, old man, Strength, Tucker from Tendril. Nostalgia says Cat will drop 40. Ooh, I like that.
That'd be dope,
that, man.
That would be dope.
X Factor, man. Who's gonna have a big game tomorrow?
Who you got, Ant?
Who am I feeling? Who's gonna have a big game, man? Yeah, man. I think it's Cat. I do. I think I saw his eyes today in the press conference, answering the question. You look locked in. Like you look like all right. Enough of this. Enough is enough. Tobias Harris, you gonna throw Tobias Harris on me? I know Tobias Harris is a good veteran. Shout out to Tobias Harris. I'm just a good player. Nobody can guard Cat on their team, Chris. Nobody. If he's bumping and grinding, right?
Yeah.
But look, there is a world where I see. I don't know, Chris. I'm feeling OG, man.
I was just gonna say, OG is due. OG is due for a game.
I'm feeling it, man. I am. Either way, get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. They got to get it done. However, right, at this point, it's the playoffs. You got to show up. You got to show up with energy, too. I mean, it's kind of weird. Two playoff games at home, and the effort's just not there until late.
Yes.
It's weird.
Who pulled up this rover? I think Jalen Brunson. He posted up a stat that Jalen Brunson has only passed the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns, 12 times this series? And if I'm not mistaken, I can't find it right now, this rover, but I think it's 12 times this series. So yeah, got it. Look,
wow.
Game 1, Game 2. It's behind me now. I'm on to Game 3. Let's go. This rover says I want Kel to drop 30 minimum. Chris says has to be Cat. If not, we are doomed. Dorcas says Cat gotta go crazy. Cat playing 40 plus minutes. Okay, Zaire, let's do it. Roommates cost us the game. Cat hates Thibs game plan of Brunson ISO ball from Tendril. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta have less of that, right?
Yeah,
to an extent.
Isaiah says, bro, it has to be Cat. He's a nightmare matchup with his skill set. Not even Tatum can guard him. It's time to trust Cat more. He's the key. Look, got to get him more involved in that high pick and roll stuff. When the ball is moving through Karl-Anthony Towns, like I said, when he has 5 or more assists, an extra 9-0 this season. So get him involved. Let him be the guy finding open guys and the cuts with Mikal and OG. I mean, where is that? Like, where is that?
Yeah.
Joshy. Come on, Joshy. Need you. Rebound the ball like you have been. You began slings and arrows, Joshy.
How do you feel about his play so far?
Foul trouble.
Like obviously taking apart the the spacing. Obviously we're all hearing spacing is an issue. He's not shooting. Taking that away. How do you feel like he's been playing?
He has 16 field goal attempts, lowest in the starting lineup. Bridges 27, Anunoby 28, Towns 25, Brunson 54. Game 1 for Josh, 30 minutes, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. But you want to know the stat that I just read there that I like? It's the 30 minutes. I think they need to scale his minutes back a little bit in order to play Mitch more. Maybe play someone else off the bench more. I don't think he needs to play. What are you playing game 2? 40? 40.
Yeah, I think he played like 40.
Check right now. Sorry. Pulling this up on the spot. Hart game 2, 40. On the spot. I don't think he needs to play 40 minutes, Chris. 30 to 33 is like the perfect amount of minutes for Josh Hart. And then this way he can do it all and, get the rebounds. I mean, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, game 1 and that's game 2, but I think that's an ego thing though. I think that's where the ego is with Josh Hart. and with Tom Thibodeau and the stubbornness. I think that's something to watch. But I think he doesn't need to play 40 minutes. He doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. I think that 30-minute mark is like the perfect thing for Josh Hart, right? I think at that point, look, you run out Mitch a little bit, or you throw Shamet out there. Throw somebody out who can space the floor a bit, and then that kind of solves that issue for a little bit. Where now you can't put Jalen Duren on, Landry Shamet or something like that, right? And look, I'm just using Shamet because he's been, as of late at least, knocking down his shots.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's another way you can help this team. But look, 40 minutes of Josh Hart's 40 minutes of Jalen Duren defending him on the perimeter and Josh Hart not looking to score, right? You figured having Jalen Duren on Josh Hart that the Knicks would turn that into an advantage of some sort, and it hasn't happened. Yeah. I mean, he's not even looking to shoot. It's just he catches the ball at the perimeter, and right away he's looking left, he's looking right. So, I mean, and I, to be honest, I see that with a lot of Knicks players, unless it's Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't know. I just I haven't really liked the way Hart has been playing. Obviously I know he's banged up, and he does a lot for this team. And yes, we do need him out on the floor, but I think you also do have to scale back his minutes a bit.
I do too. Yeah, a lot of people agree in the chat. Yeah, the only reason why Josh Hart played 30 minutes in that game, Chris, in game one is because of foul trouble, right? And that's why you saw more Mitch and Cat. So Thibs was forced to play Josh Hart less minutes. And even in game one, in that first quarter, Josh Hart was like, don't take me out. I'm good. But Thibs took him out. So, yeah, I mean, look, that's something I'm going to be watching. How many minutes does Josh Hart play? How many minutes does Mitchell Robinson play? Does Shaman even touch the court? Do we see P.J. Tucker in game 2 knock someone down? DeLon Wright, hello. I don't think that's happening. Deuce, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, Deuce. Chris and I were there last year, game 1 versus Philly. Deuce hit some big shots.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Where's that at, Deuce?
Step up. He needs to step up, man. And Hart needs to attack. I feel like he's not attacking.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys need to step up at the end of the day. Hit your open shots, man. That's it. Hit your open shots. Play great defense. Be physical with them. And let's go win a damn bowl game.
Let's win game 3.
Come on, man. All right. Any final words, Chris? Game 3 tomorrow, man. Let's go.
Gotta win game 3. Gotta go out there with more energy. Give that effort. Play hard from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Just leave it out on the court, right? It's playoffs. Just hoop, right? Yeah. Just hoop. That's what we want.
Just hoop, man. Appreciate you guys in the chat joining in tonight. Appreciate all you guys in the chat. Hit the Discord. Chris and I are in there chopping it up. Link is in the description. Subscribe if you ever done so already. Game 3 is less than 24 hours away. We will know the results of game 3. So either I will be in a good mood or I will be in a really bad mood. And you're not going to want to miss that. So tune in tomorrow. Game 3. Let's go Knicks. I have faith. I have confidence, though.
Yeah. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. And even if we don't, we're gonna put up a hell of a fight and get that dub.
Score prediction.
Calling it to score prediction. Ooh. 123.
Oh, we back?
To 94. Knicks.
I got Knicks I got the Knicks 109. Pistons, I got 107. I got the Knicks winning by 2.
Ooh.
But a part of me does think the Knicks come out strong and blow them out.
23, man.
But I don't
123.
know.
123 to 94.
Jose says 113 to 100. Zaire 104, 101 Knicks. Nostalgic says 100 to 98 Pistons. Let's go, man. Let's go win a basketball game. All right, Chris, this was fun.
This was good, man. Much needed therapy.
Much needed, man. I'll be back tomorrow, post game. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm Anthony.
I'm Chris.
Peace.
Peace.